Hello, so I just wanted to make a video um, specifically on testosterone and what I've learned about it in the last 2.5 years since I started my transition, which actually is a lot. And it's so frustrating to transition and try to find information on things. I feel like anytime I need information, the amount of time I spend just researching it to figure out what the hell I'm supposed to do, it takes up a lot of my free time. Anyway, just to give you a quick rundown on what my dosage has been for the last 2.5 years, I started out on 25 milligrams a week, and then I went up to 50 milligrams a week about, I don't know, a month after starting, then up to 75 milligrams a week about 6 months after starting, and then at 8 months I went up to 100 milligrams of testosterone a week, and that's where I stayed up until I had my hysterectomy about 4 months ago. So after I had my hysterectomy, um, from the research I had done, it seemed like post hysterectomy most people lower their testosterone dose because they're not fighting the estrogen that their body naturally makes anymore. So you can lower your dose. So I lowered my dose down to 60 milligrams a week, thinking that that was the appropriate thing to do. However, it was not. When I went in to have my levels checked, my testosterone levels, my free testosterone levels, were ridiculously low. They were at like 25, and they should be up around 175 to 200. So I was like, oh shit. So I raised my dose back up to 100 milligrams a week. And I did that for maybe a month and a half. And I went and had my levels checked. And my levels were only at 125. So I raised my dose again. So now currently I'm at 125 milligrams per week, which is more than I was pre-hysterectomy. And I don't know I don't know what that's doing to me yet because I haven't had my levels checked. So that's that's the course that my testosterone dose has taken over the last 2.5 years. Now, as for what I've learned about testosterone during that time, so the first thing I learned about testosterone is that frequency mattered to me. Um, right at the beginning, I was injecting every 2 weeks, and I definitely noticed mood swings with that. So, injecting weekly for me made a big difference when it came to just being level and just feeling normal all of the time. The second thing I learned when it came to testosterone is that brand name matters. The first either 5 or 6 months that I was transitioning and that I was injecting testosterone, I was taking a generic brand of testosterone. I believe it was Sandoz. And at some point, I felt like, excuse me, at some point, I felt like these changes just aren't happening the way I want them to. That's, I see people around me transitioning and everything's going more quickly for them. And obviously, at the beginning, you're really eager and anxious for things to happen. So I switched doses of testosterone, and I started taking the brand name, the testosterone, Depot or Depot testosterone. And when I did that, I noticed almost immediate changes. Um, my voice started dropping. I started bulking up more. My face started changing. It seemed like overnight. And so it made a huge difference for me taking a name brand testosterone. And when I talked to my doctor about that, she said that, she didn't know that was so with hormones, but she knows with people that have, for instance, thyroid problems, that brand name does make a huge difference. So, those are the only two brands I've tried. So I don't know if that's true of other generic brands, but I didn't have good luck with a generic brand of testosterone. The third thing I learned about testosterone, and this is kind of a big one. So from all my research, I was under the impression that you get your hysterectomy and you take less testosterone. And I was excited about that because I thought, okay, my liver will have more of a break with me not, with it not having to process as much hormone. Um, and what I didn't do at the beginning of my transition, and I really wish that I had, at the beginning of my transition, I did not have my hormone levels checked before I started injecting. So I don't have a baseline of where I was when it comes to my testosterone levels and my estrogen levels pre-transition. And the human gonads, whether those are ovaries or testicles, they produce both testosterone and estrogen. I didn't know that. I thought that testicles produce testosterone and ovaries produce estrogen, but they actually both produce both, just depending on your parts. You produce more of one or the other. Um, I have reason to believe now that my ovaries were producing more testosterone than the average ovary produced. My reasons for thinking that is pre-transition, I had a lot of body hair in male places. I was more muscular than the average ovary producer or estrogen producer. Um, and then also because after I had my ovaries removed, my testosterone dose had to go up. So my testosterone dose pre-hysterectomy was adding to the testosterone I was already producing. So having those removed, I of course got rid of the estrogen, but I also got rid of some of my testosterone. So I am now on more of a dose than I was to begin with. So I know that in, I don't know, a few videos ago I was talking about my dose when I told you that, oh, now I've, lowered to 60 and then, I feel great. Well, shortly after that I started to feel like crap. And it's because I didn't have enough hormones in me. And when you don't have enough hormones in you, what happens is your adrenals take over and try to produce hormone to make up for the difference. And that can start pushing you into adrenal fatigue, which is a serious matter. So all I can say for all of this is all of you trans guys out there transitioning, really watch your levels closely and keep them in check, because it's a big tractor going by. So I'm just going to pause this for a second. So now I don't remember where I was. Something about adrenal fatigue. It's a serious matter. Keep your levels in check. Watch it closely. And just for everybody out there expecting after your hysterectomy to be able to take a lower dose of testosterone, don't just take for granted that you're going to get to do that. You need to, get back on the wagon of having your levels checked until you're leveled back off. Because just because you're not producing estrogen anymore does not mean that you get to magically lower your dose. And that is something I didn't know. So I hope this is helpful to you guys. I'm trying to, I don't know, help people to learn from my mistakes. So I guess that's all I have about testosterone and what I've learned. I'll keep you updated when I get my levels checked to see if 125 milligrams will do it for me. Alrighty, bye.